Hi, everybody. Surprise, it's just me. We've had a really busy day here today at the new normal. We've had some meetings and had a great show this morning at World Blockchain Roundtable. Um, if you guys haven't watched that, go over and watch that. They've got a listing on the Who Tubes and also on Den Social. Um, Tomorrow is my birthday, the big 50. And I want you guys to all join me. So I'm going to do something kind of cool on the Mighty Lair. If you guys can go over to Den Social, so den.social, and sign up. Hey, Rick. Hey, Tom. Tom was chatting with me in the live chat before we got started on the show today. But let me share screen and I'll kind of walk you guys through it real quick. So you can go and sign up, and then there's my birthday post. Oh, we've already been given some upvotes, and somebody's already commented. So this is every week I go in and I post the Friday show. So I go ahead and I link the link to the Friday show, and then throughout the week I tell you guys like, okay, I'm going to do a contest, and the top 3 comments to this post will receive lot, which are tokens that you can use inside this platform that give you like governance rights, voting rights. You can like say post in the lair, you can be a part of the community. So if you'll go in and then like here on Monday, I said, let me know what your favorite part of the show was on this week. In the replies below, Monday, Amy Weir, her daughter Paige, joined me and my daughter Carly to discuss the Boundaries book by Cloud and Towson. We're going through a 3-month book club that's open for you to join us in a Telegram chat with workbook resources, a community chat, and a weekly show to discuss. And then there's the link to, so then you can click there and you can watch the show. Tuesday, Sean stopped by and we talked about current events, had a great show. Wednesday, Dr. McDaniel was here talking about the benefits of the ingredients of New Eden. We also had a late night special, Woo Woo Wednesday. If you guys missed that, make sure you go back and watch that on the channel. It was great to catch up with TPA with Public. And then Thursday, I put Johnny Litecoin joins us, but he is traveling today to the Litecoin Summit. So to all of our friends at Litecoin Summit, I hope you have a great weekend. And I know Mame is going to be out there, and Johnny's speaking at the event, and Jim is one of the hosts. So we hope everybody has a safe journey and has a great time out at the Litecoin Summit this weekend. And then Friday, we'll have this post, which is my birthday post, my birthday video. And throughout the show, I'm going to be, like I said, giving away those Den tokens so that you guys can join me on the Mighty Lair and be a part of our community over here. You can, like I said, comment, post, and then there's also a chat in the Mighty Lair where we can all kind of get in there and talk. We can chat during the show. We can chat, share videos with each other. We can vote on things. Hey, I want to change the icon or banner. You need to, here, I am says you need to get your icon and banner up for your lair. So there's something that we need to go vote on. And then I am posts hello and howdy, so we can kind of go in there. So those are all ways that we can connect with each other and be more of a community together. So that was something that I wanted to do. So we'll do all that tomorrow for my birthday. And I also, if you want to give me a birthday gift, you can join me on Patreon. So join me for 1 month, join me for 2 months, join me for 6 months, join me for 12 months. I would really appreciate your support. I definitely could not make it without my patrons and all the support that they give me throughout the year and the community that I have there. When you're on Patreon, you can send me messages directly, and I respond to those pretty quickly. And I'm going to start having I think I'm going to do a monthly Zoom just specifically for like a group call just for my Patreon members that whoever wants to can like do a AMA kind of thing and jump on to try to build more community there because I know that community is our strength. So looks like Dr. McDaniel has joined us. Dr. McDaniel, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you. I certainly enjoyed that picture of you with that happy look on your face for your birthday.
That was at one of our meetups. I was being silly and I thought, well, that's a good picture for my birthday picture. So tomorrow is actually my birthday. We're going to do a whole show and I'm going to invite a bunch of my friends on. I hope you'll join us too. We're going to have, I'm going to give away some tokens to some of the, to one of the platforms that we're on so people can engage with that and, just celebrate life. And I've been telling people, how important it is. I started taking New Eden to improve my nutrition and just really was inspired by. So the way that I met you was through my friend Ken and saw this dramatic change in not only his physical health after he got, the great infection, but also his skin improved, his energy level improved, his emotional state improved and changed. And a lot of that he gave credit to, the timing of looking after his nutrition and his health. And so today you were going to come on and tell us, how you found your life's work and why you were led down this path, why it's so important to you to have been led down this path of good nutrition.
Well, I acknowledge that I requested just a one-on-one interview and an opportunity to share with your people what's on my mind. Do you want to run your little Bitcoin?
Oh, I didn't know it was I didn't know it was to be recorded. Yeah, we're live. So if you want to do that recorded, we can do that another time.
Okay, well, so we can just start.
Totally.
If you want to lead in, you can add that to it later.
Totally up to you.
To point out is that your people may or may not have noted that I wore a sports shirt and with it open and made a good point that I am attempting to really not appear to be some kind of medical or scientific expert as I have traveled to 15 different countries giving lectures and considered that way. But I feel like during the pandemic that so-called medical and scientific experts have made absolute jackasses out of themselves by being all over the map with their recommendations, and people have found out that experts usually base all their opinions on theories, and what information they have this morning, tonight, tomorrow, last year, or next year may vary, and what they'll tell you will vary with these theories. What I've been trying to share with your people, I could put in the area of theorem. And theorem defines as something that has been proven and exists and was present in the past, is today, and will be the same tomorrow. That's the difference between theory and theorem. And what I'm sharing with you are theorem. And I have a collar and tie and coat on, not to appear as some kind of expert, but because I have been to a funeral and this was the attire appropriate for a funeral. And I'm going to confess to everyone that I have a hard time dealing with funerals and especially death. And I think that comes from the fact that back in the 1940s during World War II, my father went off in the military, the U.S. Army, and he was killed in Italy. And what we got back, and all we had for several years, was a telegram and a green locker with his name on it and his serial number and some of his effects. And as a 7-year-old, as I was at that time, and my brother 18 months, that's what we got back from a very energetic person with a lot of personality and activity. And it was really hard to deal with this. As a matter of transparency about these lecture sections, I don't think you mind me sharing with people that you do not pay me to do these.
No,
I am
absolutely.
happy to do them, and it's a
Yeah.
fulfillment to me to have the opportunity to do these, and I'm going to try to explain to you why. Also, number two, as part of this transparency, we do offer from every invoice of individuals that purchase more comprehensive nutrition in the form of New Eden, a small percentage to pass it forward to your, offering it to you for your not-for-profit
Thank you.
foundation in
Yeah.
behalf of your adopted daughter that you lost. And I might add that in your discussion of that, you not only tell me what I get in return, because I am rewarded far more than any material thing that could be given to me, just to hear the benefits you've had. And you spoke of Ken that introduced us. I was very worried about him for many months because
Thank
his
you.
degree of depression about what was going on, and more comprehensive nutrition added to the biochemistry of his life, which includes the biology for the brain, or the biochemistry. His emotions have greatly improved and elevated, because to be in the United States of America and to wake up and be terribly disappointed or depressed is not normal. And in this pursuit of these last 36 years, we have discovered that the active ingredient from the aloe vera leaf gel, which experts found was acetylated mannose, a special sugar made in the leaf of the aloe vera plant, by experts that were numbered in over 50 MDs, PhDs, master's degree and doctorate students, and veterinary medicine and dental researchers, more than 50 and 12 different institutions that worked on the science that Carrington Laboratories had a goal and was founded, had $20 million for research. Important. You can't do any research without funds to do it. And they formed this corporation with a goal to make a new pharmaceutical drug out of an unidentified substance in the aloe leaf gel. And they found out, the experts did, that it was acetylated mannose. And furthermore, that in the second major step in cellular synthesis, that 9 molecules of acetylated mannose, which we call ace-mannan, in 3 chains make a domain on the membrane surface of all the cells in the body. Every system, these cells in the membrane, 9 molecules of this molecule in 3 chains. And this domain is for cell-to-cell communication, instructions, and in fact, harmony. And all the cells in the body, and we know there are trillions of them, must work in harmony. One of the best examples of where the harmony is broken down is in malignancies, because there's an alteration called a mutation in a nucleic acid chromosome gene, that this cell becomes kind of a what would you call a revolting cell that divides into other cells that do not respect the other cells, try to take their nutrients, don't worry about getting rid of waste materials that are made in the cell, and invade other cells and can cause death. And you don't want this. You want harmony and peace between all the cells in the body. And that's why this active ingredient from the aloe vera plant was so important. Now, I want to first ask you a question to introduce this. Why is there a goal or an aim of these lectures? I have shown a chart of the composition of matter of all the elements that have been found on Earth and even in space. And it starts with, on the left-hand side at the top, the simplest molecule or element, hydrogen, which has one electron and one proton in the center, the nucleus, down to the far right-hand corner of this chart, where you'll find uranium, like uranium-239 or 238. That has 238 electrons, and then in addition, in balance with these negative charges, positive charges in the center. And each one of these little boxes in this chart is a status of energy for that element. And all these things are materialistic. And for example, our brain is made from molecules from this chart, but that's the anatomy. You can touch it. But the function of the brain is the mind or spirit. And the mind or spirit is not material. Fact is, I have a second chart that I haven't shown you that has about 50 squares on it. And at the top, I put love, loving, lovable, sharing, multiple non-materialistic things that I say, do you love your mother, your father, your children, your brothers, your sisters, your friends? Due to material things like the hair, the skin, the bones, the muscles, the organ tissues, or do you love them because of things that you can't touch that are not material, that are on this second chart that I put at the top? Love, loving, lovable, and many other different qualities of a human being that makes them acceptable, and that you want to be near them, you want to share with them, and it leads to affection that is shared. Now, this aspect of the function of the brain, which is mind and spirit, gets into what I would say the spiritual dimension. And that is what I'm talking about when I say I have a hard time handling funerals and death, because there is such incredible design in life and what's in the genes that produces the function of the body, that it's hard to think that in this biggest mystery of life that there is a creative, organizing, and designing power active in the universe. Each of us, you sitting listening to me and me talking, are proof that there is a creative, organizing, and designing power in the universe. Every one of our cells, in the logic and the great design that is in those 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs, that attest to the fact that this didn't just happen. And of course, this is the biggest challenge that human beings have ever faced, even in the most prehistory times. In the graves, there's evidence that human beings realize something hard to define is going on. And this going on, I say, is a creative, organizing, designing power that exists for not only plant life and human life, where you take those elements that are on the chart of material things, and out of this comes life and all the structures in the universe that they're finding in space. How did this come to be? And right in a hurry, because this journey that I'm on started in 1985. Is the middle of the road, conventional science and medicine, working with the Food and Drug Administration, which we know as the FDA, and all these academic institutions and these over 50 specialists that represent over 200 years beyond college degree education. I didn't learn everything that they had to know, but I did learn from them many of the things about the power of nutrition, and having to face up to that this turned from a middle of the road science and medicine to a spiritual journey. And this spiritual journey just slaps you in the face when you start trying to deal with when someone has their last breath and last heartbeat. Does this function in the spiritual dimension come to an end? And this individual that I went to the funeral, he was the father of our oldest daughter's husband, and he was a certified public accountant, and he served their community for decades as the city treasurer. And out of this, there is a park dedicated and named for him to recognize his years of service. Now, why do I point this out? Most of us know that the poets have said that our names are written in sand, and that the winds of time blow across this name in the sand and it disappears. And in only about 2 generations, you're lucky if you know who your great grandparents, and certainly not your great great grandparents, were. It's gone, like in the sands of time. However, this individual, with his service to others, there will be a park forever with his name on it. And I think that's something to think about, and it triggers a thought with you, because I have repeatedly said we have 3 things we offer to people. Number 1, improvement in health, and that's a very broad term. And I frequently point out that many people think having more time or a longer life is the ultimate thing. That's not the ultimate value of a human being. As a physician, I can tell you there have been people I've known in pain and disability that didn't want any more time. What they wanted was a restoration or better health. And the quality of our time is what is such value. And that's why this power of more comprehensive nutrition means so much, because there comes a time in life that nothing material is as important as our quality of life at that point in time. Then wealth. If you've got a health problem, you have a built-in wealth problem, particularly in our society. If you've got a member of your family that you have to buy pharmaceuticals, or you have to go to a clinic or doctor's office, and heaven help you if you have to go in the hospital because it's so expensive, and you may take a lifetime of earnings to pay for a hospital care if you don't have very good insurance. And if you end up in intensive care unit, ICU, a person can't earn enough wealth to pay for the type of expense that can come from being in the hospital in ICU. But then I think the third thing we have to offer people is a sense of worthiness, of worth, of a purpose. And how do you get this non-materialistic value? Well, I have said it before that I've lectured now in 15 countries, and one of these was to go and lecture for the elite of Japan. Took over a week over there, most incredible trip I ever took. But in going to Japan, I thought, gee, how can I talk to these people? I don't know anything about them. So I started a study of all I could find out about the history and the society and desires and fears
Hmm.
of Japanese. And one of the things I found was at one time the emperor decided to be what I'm trying to think of the word, Shintoism. And instead, I said, well, what is a Shintoism? I didn't know anything about Shintoism. And one of the
Hmm.
first things I found was that in Shintoism, it is believed that when you're born in debt, a debt to the creative, organizing, designing power in the universe. And this debt becomes the purpose of life that you need to, in your living, repay that gift of life to the creating power in the universe. And the only way you can pay that debt is what you do for others, expecting nothing in return. Hmm. That kind of resonated with me and really struck me deep because in World War II, in grade school, you cannot imagine the propaganda against Japan about how they're a bunch of barbarians
Right.
and
Right.
uncivilized creatures, you know. And here, this Shintoism had this purpose that really struck me as, hey, that's important. I want to remember that.
Dr. McDaniel, you know what that reminds me of? In the Bible, that parallels where in the Bible it says that, to serve widows and orphans, and in doing that, you serve me. If you parallel Shintoism, like you owe the universe, and the only way you can do that is by repaying, serving others. So you can't pay the universe back for being born. You can serve others to repay your debt, just like you can't pay God back. You can't, He doesn't need anything from you, but you can serve orphans and widows to honor God.
Well, be
Um,
careful. You're getting ahead of my
sorry,
story
sorry,
or
sorry, sir.
my adventure, but you've really struck on something
Yeah.
important, I think, because of why this resonated with me. But not long
Wow.
after this, the President of the United States, which I call George Bush Jr., the young one, invited the Dalai Lama to come to the United States to receive the Freedom Medal because rather than fight with the Chinese communists that were taking over his area, he went to India and continued his spiritual activity in India rather than fight with them. And he was recognized for this peaceful activity. He was interviewed by the Wall Street Journal, and they had a etched picture of him there. And as I read this, it was almost a page. I was struck by they would ask questions, and his responses reminded me of multiple statements in the Hebrew Bible by the ancients in the Proverbs and other biblical things and all. I thought, gee, this guy's a Buddhist. Man, I was born in the Bible Belt here in the South, and
Right.
here's another one of these creatures that is destined for hell because he's not a Jew or a Christian and all. And at the end of this interview, the Wall Street Journal person said, Your Grace, we've asked you these multiple questions and you've responded to it. Is there anything that you would like to say that we have not told you? And he says, Well, thank you. He says, I understand that most of your readers are professionals or businessmen and at the top of their companies, and that they follow the markets and all and what's happening in different companies and all. But they should realize that in their business activity, trying to make profits and various activities of business, that the greatest reward they can receive is what they do for others. That really struck me again,
True.
like that Shintoism. That here in
Yes.
Buddhism, which in the environment I grew up in, these people were saying things that really seemed important. And then I thought, oh, I know why it seems so important. There was a carpenter from Galilee that those that followed him, and he said, fulfill the prophecy in Isaiah to be the Christ for the Jews. And he had healed people on the Sabbath, which was forbidden in Judea and Jewish custom. And in addition, he had virtually caused a riot at the temple of Solomon for the money changers. And he was before the Sanhedrin, and a Pharisee asked him as he was being accused of blasphemy, what is the law? And if you recall, his answer was, thou shalt love thy Lord thy God. I'm assuming he said this in his own language, which meant Yahweh. Thou shalt love thy Lord. This is the King James translation primarily. With all thy heart, mind, and spirit, and thy neighbor as thyself. And the Pharisee, who's my neighbor? And he told the story of the Good Samaritan. And one should know who the Samaritan was in that society. They were an outcast. And yet this individual that didn't speak like the Jews, didn't dress like them, didn't even live with them. They had ghetto areas of their own. Found this Jew that had been robbed and beaten in the ditch, took compassion on him, took him to the inn, and paid for bringing him back to a resolution. That was his story of who my neighbor is. And it hit me that this is a universal law, a truth that's universal. It's like the golden rule: do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Now, in this 36 years of what has been personal discovery for me, and I keep telling people, you keep giving me all kind of credit. I didn't invent anything. I didn't go find anything or make something new. All I am is a messenger and servant to, in my mind, try to give to you better health, to help your wealth, and that you in turn can help others by loving thy neighbor as thou love thyself. Now, in that Shintoism, they call this debt, and I don't know if I pronounce it right, the Kwo, K-O-A, that you want to earn the Kwo for the gift of your life. These lectures that I am trying to share with people are my effort to love thy neighbor as thyself, to the greatest reward you can do for others. And that I hope that by sharing this with each person, that this is the goal, and that it will become your goal to seek worthiness by the fulfillment and purpose that you receive by sharing your benefits with others. And just our last session, when you were telling me how not only your own personal benefits, but you could put it two and two together of how this could have helped your daughter that died from the profound infection from the suppression of her immune system. You didn't know that I have been involved with people that had flesh-eating organisms that the families were told this person's going to die. No antibiotic, nothing we can do is doing any good. And they took this and it totally turned around and it destroyed the infection because it boosted the internal genetic host defense mechanisms that don't require antibiotics, but produce molecules and cells that fight any type of infection, whether it's viral, bacterial, fungal. In fact, as I say, the ultimate expression of this, I found out as director for Man Relief Ministries, that we had multiple sites in Africa where they said they had children in bed, ceased to grow, had periodic fever and chills from chronic malaria, red cell destruction. And I didn't know before this experience that the number one cause of death of children on planet Earth, according to the World Health Organization, is chronic malaria in children. These children quit having all these symptoms, began to grow, get strength, get out of bed, go back to school. And before it was over, we were informed that they found out with their activities of soccer that they excelled in athletics. They were stronger, more eye-hand alert,
Yeah.
reflexive.
All of that makes sense with the stem cell production, that they would have brain development, their cognitive levels would be improved. All of that makes so much sense when you look at the studies that have been done and the research that that you have this years of history and this track record of results and history with this. So it's so impressive. And I'm thankful when you talk about the rock being rolled back and that somebody else's name was on it, and you're very humble about um, developing this and sharing the knowledge that's been brought to you and networking that and keep trying to get the message out there. It really is. I know it's your burden that you carry with a sense of honor, but that um, I'm proud that you're passing it or letting me help carry that rock with you, because it is something that I'm passionate about, and I feel like it's a way that we can help others improve their quality of life. I see people hurting. My own mom is in a lot of pain from a fall with her knee, and I'm, telling her, this is something that can help you, and you want the best for everyone. And when you find something like this that can really make a difference and you've seen the results, I've seen the results in people that I know and that I love. And I want this for everyone. I want this information to get out there. So,
Well, I want to tell you thank you for giving me this chance to share with your people what I've been thinking about the last few days. And
yeah.
I've been thinking about why are we doing this? What is its purpose? What is its goal? And it's my hope that each individual will take this to other people and earn their worthiness and their purpose and their reward as I have received, that you're talking to and listen to one of the most blessed people that have ever walked on the face of the earth, because of all the feedback I have received over these years from multiple, all over North America and Central America and 15 foreign countries, of people that express to me thanksgiving for the power that is embedded in the coding of our DNA and every cell in our body, that is testament that there is a creative, organizing, and designing power in the universe that you can serve and use to help others at the lowest cost, at the safest manner, by supporting through nutrition, engineering, and design of life that is coded in every cell in your body. And I appreciate this chance to tell people what I hope this means to them, and that they will use this and pass it forward. And the greatest thing could happen is everybody on earth could find out how much this could do for them.
Yes. And everyone could have comprehensive nutrition and have those benefits, and our bodies could be in homeostasis, and we could be doing all the things that God designed our body to do. So you guys check out the link in the description. There's more information there, as well as the special that they're running right now, to send you more books. Also, when you place your order, I would recommend that you get on the subscription, because there is a discount with that. Use the code Mighty Lisa to get that free book. And then you can also put in the comments section any questions that you have for Dr. McDaniel, and or any alternatives from normal, deviations from normal, is that right? That you
Yeah,
might be experiencing,
we
and if
we
they
can't.
have information on any deviations from normal and any relationships to that, then they can share some information with you that might be helpful to you when they send you your order. So,
Let me finally say that in telling you this, I forgot to mention a few points that really shocked me. It's not only the information and knowledge that is embedded in your genes that is such an incredible recognition, but I did not know that the nucleic acids or the DNA in the plant kingdom was just exactly like the DNA in the animal or the human. Now, maybe you knew that, but I didn't.
I
With
didn't
all
I
my
didn't
years
know
of
till you and I, yeah, started talking about it. I thought it was pretty incredible. And I followed Bruce Lipton and a lot of his work with DNA and telomeres, and then Ken from C60, they talk about, healing and anti, you know, protecting, getting rid of free radicals with C60 and the lengthening of the telomere. So a lot of my friends in the community, we've been on this journey of healing and finding, different resources. And so hearing all these things come together makes so much sense.
And one other point that really struck me is that we talk about cellular synthesis, how under the control of the genes that amino acids, fatty acids, sugar molecules or monosaccharides, vitamins, minerals, elements are hooked together or assembled. But in the plant kingdom, there are nutrient molecules that can be added to this that makes this bioactive compound work better. And that's what we particularly have been able to find in the aloe plant and other things that I've added that I have told your people of how we came about finding them. But you got to say, how in the world did these nutrient molecules found in the plant kingdom make everything in cellular synthesis work just a little bit better if it's available in the diet? And that's what we've attempted to assemble through these years in New Eden. And it's a good reason I call it New Eden, because if you read the accounts of the Hebrew and the Christian Bible, these people had food that are quite different from what we eat today, and we're just restoring missing things that were provided by the organizing and designing creative power in the universe that put into the plant kingdom what our genes call for to optimally make our health more effective. All of this together is mind-boggling. And to answer, I don't sit here and try to tell you that I have the answer that has frustrated human beings for generations to try to explain how all this came to be. And as you probably know, there are many theories, but I'm sharing with you the theorem that it is, and you can use it and share it with others and earn your worthiness, purpose, and what you can do for others.
Very timely advice. I appreciate it. Like I said, tomorrow's my 50th birthday, and I've really been in a very thoughtful place about um, my purpose in life and my life's work. And we get distracted sometimes with um, the chaos of the world and we we move the target sometimes. And if you've ever played golf, they tell you when you step up to the tee, don't look at the hazard. And I think there's so many hazards in life right now that are distracting us, and we need to not focus on the hazard. It's okay to know that they're there, educate yourself, but we got to get back to looking at our goal. And our goal is to be a light in this world, to help each other, to be community. And that's what I want to focus on. So I really appreciate your time and your advice and sharing your heart and your life's work with me and my community. I'm very grateful.
Well, thank you. I'm greatly rewarded.
Thank you. Everyone, please check out more information at the link below in the description. And we will see you guys all tomorrow on my birthday on the show. So take care.